What's up, guys? I've got a question for you. If you had to choose one of these girls to be in a relationship with, who would you choose? And now my second question is, who do you think out of these three girls are more likely to cheat on you? Well, what about now? Does this information change how you feel about who you might pick as a partner or who you think might cheat on you more? Picking the right girl for a relationship is incredibly difficult, but it's important that you do so. Because if you end up getting cheated on, not only will you feel heartbroken, not only can it lead to depression, but it is the #1 most common reasons why people end up getting a divorce. And with rates of infidelity around like 24% for women, it's actually pretty common. And if you ask the red pill, there's actually one reason why women cheat. I mean, besides being men-eating horrible monsters that are disgusting and are just gonna cheat on you no matter what because they're just trying to find the next guy to upgrade a blah, they'll usually say Laycount.
Studies show that every guy that she slept with before you increases her likelihood to cheat on you by around 7 to 11% per guy. And if your woman has slept with about 10 guys, then she's 40% more likely to divorce you than the woman who slept with 5.
Women cheat more than men?
Far more.
Come on.
Far, far more.
Come on.
Far from.
Why do you think women cheat more than men?
Because they're in denial about the infidelity. When they cheat, they don't even label it as that. If a woman starts cheating,
what do they label it as?
They label it as my husband's no longer satisfying me. They won't even say I'm cheating.
And recently on Twitter, StatisticCloud looked at the general social survey and compiled these results. A lot of what you read here is that Laycount is the only thing that you should think about when it comes to cheating. But in this video, I'm gonna have a little bit of a deeper dive into these claims and see if they're true, see if you should listen to them, but also give you a comprehensive view of other factors that will give you an idea if a woman's gonna cheat. And also a guide on how to correct these. What's the solution? How do you actually pick a girl? How do you have a relationship that doesn't lead to cheating? How predictable is it anyway? Well, I had a look through a lot of studies, a lot of literature, and there were two really big systematic reviews done in 2017, 2019 that looked at over 82 studies that found that these factors are related to infidelity. So you can see there's 3 sets here: individual, relationship, and environment and context. So individual, things like the girl's profession, her work. If she relies on you for income, if she works with more men, or if she's required to travel around a lot for work, she's more likely to cheat. Her personality, if she's extroverted, low in agreeableness, if she's neurotic and low conscientiousness, she's more likely to cheat. If she has a higher Laycount, if she has an anxious attachment style, or is just anxious in general. If her parents have cheated or divorced or unhappy in their marriage, and also women that will use a lot of social media. So these are some individual factors to look out for. The relationship factors, some obvious ones here. So obviously, if there's low levels of satisfaction, both sexually and romantically, and a low level of commitment, then that'll lead to infidelity. Cohabitation, so not officially being married and living with each other or living with each other prior to marriage has a higher risk. Incompatibility, those with different religions, level of education, economic status, customs, sexual values, and communication styles are going to lead to more cheating. And investment, so having increased shared possession and experiences reduces the chance of cheating. Then on to environment and context. So things like religion. So less infidelity is associated with women that are very religious and see God as a part of this relationship. Alternative options. So increased perceived quality of alternatives to the relationship, increased infidelity. So if your girl is around a bunch of the UMP mastermind guys, then yeah, she's gonna fucking cheat on you. Be careful, okay? Culture. So this is like when a bride price is paid by the groom. So I don't know. If you're buying your girl some goats and shit to get married, then she's less likely to cheat. Okay. So what matters most out of all this? So we got all these factors. Which one should we really care about? Which one's gonna have the biggest influence? So the question is, should you never marry a girl because you want her as a housewife? Or should you not marry someone because you have different education levels or because they're extroverted? So one of these large studies asked that question. It looked at, okay, which of these factors have the biggest association, the biggest risk with infidelity? So they found the 2 biggest factors were sexual narcissism, which created 9 times more the risk, and sexual and physical abuse, which created 6 times more the risk. Whenever Laycount is talked about, it's always manipulating the stats. This is just something you have to keep in mind. So this StatisticCloud that did the general social survey, You might hear them say there's 16 times more likely for a girl to cheat with a high Laycount. That sounds crazy. If this stat was true, then yeah, Laycount's probably something you should have a look at. But manipulating these odds ratios happen when you compare it to a virgin. So a virgin is much less likely to cheat for reasons other than Laycount. They're more likely to be introverted. There's some cultural values there. They're usually very religious. So it's almost like saying, okay, women that work are 16 times more likely to cheat. But you're comparing them to the non-work group, which might be women living in a very conservative culture, wearing a burqa, that's not allowed to like leave the house unless she's with a husband. But you're saying, oh, but these women don't work. That's who we're comparing it to. So you can't necessarily compare it to virgins when you're comparing this Laycount. What you really have to do is compare it to the average. So if a girl slept with like 4 guys before she's been married, is she much more likely to cheat on you if she slept with 7? So if we look at these numbers, the correlation for someone that slept with 4 partners is around 16% according to these numbers. And the chance of cheating is 18% if you've been with 5 to 10 partners. That's like a 2% increase. And then 30% for 20 plus partners, which is very similar like odds ratios or risks to other factors like cohabitation, previous infidelity, cybersex, older age, alcohol consumption, economic dependency, marital dissatisfaction, religion, and high education level. Okay, so all of these sit around like what they call like an odds ratio of around 2. But with that being said, even the authors of these studies said to really caution against just taking one factor, one study, and basing an analysis off this. What they really said is you need a rigorous analysis and synthesis of a meta-analysis. Also, what they found is a lot of these factors are going to change depending on the partner. So things like the woman's age, her income level, her personality traits, they're all going to change depending on what the guy's income level is, what his age is, what his income, for example, might be. So it's always going to be like interdependent on who you're with. So then what the authors did is they said, okay, let's look at what grouping has the biggest effect here. Is it the individual traits? Should you just solely care about what the girl's traits are? Is it the relationship that matters? Should we worry about the dynamic between us two? Or is it like our environmental context that matters the most? And the 3 biggest studies in the last few years found that what matters most is the compatibility of the couple and their happiness, more so than any one character trait. And then a machine learning model was actually created to predict infidelity. And they were able to do this accurately. They could take a couple, put in all these traits, factors, characteristics, and they could accurately determine who was likely to cheat and who wasn't. And what this study found that overall, each variable alone predicted little variance in infidelity. Therefore, the results do not suggest that there is one single or a few variables that are highly predictive of infidelity. Instead, a large number of variables together results in the algorithm's overall ability to predict infidelity with a moderate to large effect size. Again, relationship variables together explain the largest amount of variance in the predictions. And this also lines up with recent research where they did a survey of like 100,000 people, and they basically asked women, why you cheat? And the answers were 35% of the time they were bored with their sex life, 30% was to get even, and then 74% of the time they said it was relationship problems. So it looks like Laycount doesn't have this massive, huge effect. It probably has a small influence, but it's more the relationship dynamic, the satisfaction and compatibility that you have with the girl. So let's start looking at some practical advice we can use based on the above research. So thinking about those 3 girls at the beginning again. So now knowing what we know, which one should we pick? Who is the right girl? Who's less likely to cheat? First thing to keep in mind is people lie. Even on this survey data where they're asking girls, how many partners you've had, when you're likely to cheat, even with these completely anonymous surveys where they're writing down no one else sees, we know there's like slight deviance in answers. So if the girls are going to lie to themselves, essentially, why do you think they're going to be honest to you when you ask them if they've cheated before, or you ask them how many partners they've had? Like, how are you possibly going to tell if a girl was with 4 guys or 7? Sure, you can tell she's been with like 200 by maybe the friends she hangs out with, her behaviors, how she acts around sex, how you guys met, things like that, sure. But to suggest that you're going to be able to tell like from 4 to like 9, there's no way you're going to know. She's going to lie anyway. So these numbers we have up for the 3 girls, who knows if that's even true, right? These girls could be lying. What I really want you guys to do is feel empowered here, not fearful. So I don't want you to focus on this one little factor of Laycount. Like even, okay, more research for you. High Laycount girls tend to be less happy and less committed in relationships. But what is also true is that the ones that were committed and were happy within a relationship were not more likely to cheat. And just think, what if the tables were flipped here? Okay, what if this was you? Because by the way, all these factors apply to men just the same, if not more. What if you met the girl of your dreams? She was absolutely amazing, super hot, great in bed. You guys got along really well. You're compatible. She like cooked you dinner, was fucking sick, whatever. Like she was perfect. And then you go to take it to the next level. Like maybe you want to get an exclusive relationship. And this girl's like, no, sorry, I can't. And you're like, why? What's up? She's like, I just can't trust you. I just think you're gonna cheat on me. And you're like, what the fuck? Why? We've got along so well. We haven't had one fight. Like everything's great. What are you talking about? And the girl's like, well, I know you've been with 7 girls before, so I know your chance of cheating has gone up this much %, and it's just not a risk I'm willing to take. Okay, I know the type of guy you are. Okay, you've slept with 7 girls. I don't think it's gonna happen. You'd be like, what the fuck are you talking about? You'd be like, if we get along really well and I liked you and I wanted to commit to you, like that was 7 girls. I was just, you know, dating, seeing, whatever. Like I'm committed to you now. This is that. It would feel so stupid if it was the other way around. Yet there tends to be, you know, especially this red pill space, this huge push on like Laycounts. It's one thing if the girl's been with like fucking 400 fucking guys or some shit, right? I get that. But if it's like 10, I wouldn't make that the big fear factor here. So instead, I just ask myself, what do you value in another girl? Who are you actually compatible with? Because you might prefer, let's say, a younger girl, even though she's more likely to cheat, or a girl that isn't super religious, or a girl that loves anal. For me, look, I'm a little bit biased. So I prefer very outgoing, extroverted girls, high sex drive, that enjoy exploring sex, more feminine, more playful, have bigger social circles. All of these qualities typically mean they're not going to be a virgin, and they're going to probably have slept with more than 4 guys. But hey, look, maybe you prefer that really conservative, shy church girl. That's great, like go for her. My point is, find someone you're compatible with, keeping in mind some of the factors, some of the like red flags, but like you need to know the biggest determinant of infidelity is going to be your relationship dynamic, how you guys act together, how compatible you guys are. So yeah, sure, like there's other things that make small little differences, keep that in mind. But if you have a great relationship, that's what's going to matter. So just to reiterate, you are the reason she will be faithful or not. I want you to understand the power is all yours. You're not a victim here. You're the reason she'll stay faithful. Have a healthy, satisfying, committed relationship where both your sexual and intimacy needs are met. This is the biggest effect. Of course, this isn't easy, okay? I'm basically just saying, hey, have a great relationship, right? We're going to be putting out more content about what are the factors that lead to a good relationship, how to actually maintain that, how to set the right frames so that she has a high level of respect for you and is highly committed. We already have a lot of that in the mastermind, so if that's something you want to check out, it's a 2-week free trial, you can go check it out. The link will be in the description below. I really want to reiterate this. You are the reason she will stay faithful. The power's all yours. You're not a victim here. All right, boys. I look forward to all your opinions, all your questions in the comments below. So hit me up. Otherwise, love you all. Take care. Peace.